like I'm right. Of course, I'm not saying that I am. I just saying I feel like that I am right. So, without further ado, let's just get into it.
I have absolutely no contact with my parents. I don't talk to them, I don't visit them, and to be honest, I would rather never see them again in my entire life. This might sound bad, but I do have my reasons. I was kicked out of my parents' house the day after my 18th birthday. My father claimed that an 18-year-old is already an adult and they should be able to live by themselves. Just a heads up, I was still in high school when that took place. I worked part-time, but I couldn't afford housing. I slept on the streets for a few weeks until I found a shelter. Not only that, but I had a lot of rough days after that. The streets are no place for anyone, especially someone that young. Luckily, I managed to finish school. I got into a technical course for programming and got a decent job. Now, 10 years after that, I just graduated college. I actually saved up enough money to do that. However, I can't forgive my parents. I never contacted them and they never contacted me. That is until yesterday. Somehow, my uncle got my phone information and sent me a message. He said that my father is extremely sick and more than likely he'll pass away in the next few days. My uncle told me that my father wanted to see me one last time and asked if I could be there. I said no. I absolutely resent and bear a grudge against my father and my mother. My father kicked me out, and my mother did absolutely nothing to stop it. As you might assume, my uncle started to get heated and called me heartless, ungrateful, and a butthole among other things. I'm pretty sure most of my family feels the same way about me. Honestly, I'm only asking here for my sanity's sake. I will not be meeting them, but I understand the man is dying, and by not going, I'm denying something to a dying man, which might make me the butthole. However, even if it does, I do not care. I would rather be a butthole than see those two ever again.
The whole concept came down to forgiveness. And of course, the whole thing also came down to forgiving the person is not for them, it's for you. I'm going to let everybody speak first before I give my point. Like I said, I've been feeling like this since I was a kid, and it hasn't changed since I've been an adult. So, Tracy, I'm going to let you go first because I kind of know which direction you're going to go. But
he absolutely has to see the father. Absolutely, positively. If not just to say, hey, I don't appreciate the way that you kicked me out at 18 for no reason. Obviously, it's still bothering him. He can't, it's bothering him to the point. And that's the problem with unforgiveness. It doesn't bother the person that did it to you. It bothers you. You're letting that man and his wife, your mother, live in your mind. No, it'll never be the same. No, you may never reconcile. But you have to, you have to, you have to forgive. It's the only thing. I know it's hard. I never said it wasn't hard. I never said it was easy. But if it's bothering him this much, he needs to at least confront his father and his mother. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm pretty sure I know what the three of you are going to say, but
Anna?
It is up to each individual. And I know some people who they have separated from very abusive parents. And so I would say, no, you don't have to go there to be abused again, nor if you cannot come to them with a modicum of humility, then just listen to your gut. You will have to live with it. Either way. I mean, I don't agree with what I would go. But I don't know the backstory. I don't know what happened between them except for got kicked out at 18, which, how long ago was he told that? Was he able to prepare for it? That it isn't unfair thing to just push an arbitrary date, But was that the extent? I don't know. I don't blame anyone. I don't know you're not a butthole for that.
This.
Well, as always, we're getting one side of the story. So we don't know if it was that they were bad parents or he was just that bad of a kid. So, I mean, I'm just saying, what if he completely was a nut, just getting in trouble, doing things that really stressed the family out and put the family on the edge for years. And then he turned 18, they're like, okay, you wanted to be grown, now you're grown. Right? That's one possible scenario, which we're not going to get from him. He's just going to give us the victim card. And then if he's saying that he doesn't care, why are you writing about it? Shut up. I mean, for real. I don't understand why people put their business out here like that. That's why I'm more prone to call it BS, because I'm like, for real, if you don't care, why are you telling us? Because you want to have somebody pay attention to you? Somebody feel sorry for you? Nah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. One last point. I don't agree with forgiveness is for you, not the other person. Like, that's not my mantra. I understand people who hold that, and that's cool. And if it works for them, it works for them. Please believe if I forgive you, it was for you. But at the same time, sometimes you got to let that hurt go, man. Even if you don't forgive them, you got to let it go, because otherwise it's just gonna ride with you. And you ain't hurt nobody but you. So, that's what I had.
Here's my deal, and Diaz took some of it. I have never believed in that forgiveness is for yourself and not them. I just couldn't. Now we're gonna take it. Excuse me. We're gonna take everything that this dude said at face value, because that's how we have to take it. He wrote the letter. Why he wrote it? Okay. I just don't want to get into the nuances of it. So we're gonna take it on face value. Your parents kicked you out when you was 18, even while you were still in high school. Never checked on you one time, apparently, since that time. Now, your uncle, who's calling you, so obviously your uncle and the other side of the family knew what those parents did to you and apparently didn't help either. Calling you to say that your dad is dying and he wants to see you one last time. Of which my question would have been, why? Because he never asked that question. Why do he want to see me after all this time? Because I'm going to tell you something like this, Tracy. I'm not going to forgive him. Chances are whatever's going to come out of my mouth is going to be the most hurtful thing I could possibly say from the top of my head. And I'm going to mean every last one of them. Or, and I know this is wrong for me, or I forgive him and he goes off in peace, which is for him, not me. I'm still pissed. I'm still the one who was homeless all those years. I'm still going to be pissed that the whole family knew that I was homeless all those years and didn't lift one finger. Yet this dude going to die in peace. So I'm always going to have that feeling. That's why I never understood the it's for you, not for me. No. Whatever it is, I'll get over it. In time, you do. With therapy, you do. You'll get over it eventually using one of those two methods. But forgiving a person, I can't wrap my head around it. I can't do it. I just can't wrap my head around forgiving somebody who wronged me. And I'm just using him, of course, because it's his story. But anybody that wronged me so bad that it affected my life to the point of near death, possibly, 18 with no way of defending yourself at all. But you want me to forgive it, and it's for me? I survived. I just can't do it. I
Well,
sorry.
since you designated me in that answer,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back with one. I never said that forgiveness was easy. I never said it wasn't difficult. I never said that it's a process that happens quickly, but it has to happen. It has to happen for a couple reasons. One is I've always believed if you want forgiveness, you have to give forgiveness. You can't just say, oh, well, I won't forgive, and then you do somebody wrong and say, well, they didn't forgive me. Well, you have to give what you want. That's just, that's a tenet of my faith. I've always believed in forgiveness. And the second thing is I want God to forgive me. And he said if you don't forgive others, he's not forgiving you. And I strongly 1,000,000,000% believe that. That's just something, it's been drilled into me. And like I said, it's not easy. It's not. It's not a cakewalk. It's not something that's gonna happen. It may take 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 years for him to get to that point. But you have to get to that point.
So I'm gonna take the little part about about God forgiving me. I'm gonna pick that up and I'm gonna put that over here somewhere. But all the rest of it, I can ride exactly where Tracy's coming from, even though it's not my default setting. It is true that for me, because see, I can't tell somebody else how to live. For me, the few times that I had to actually forgive somebody, it was a weight off of my shoulders, right? Because I'm one of those people. I can't I'm gonna use the word hate, even though I don't truly hate nobody, but I can't hate two people at one time. Like it's too exhausting.
Right.
So, like speaking in my own, one of the reasons why I am so slow to forgive, which is one of the reasons why the odds of getting forgiveness from me is like is because I literally wake up and live every day doing my best not to give you anything to have to forgive. Like I go out of my way not to put you in a position where you have to carry a hard heart towards me. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be irritated with me from time to time, but what I can say is you're not going to say Theus did you wrong, right? So if you do that, then somebody come at you and they really do something harmful to you, a little easier to be like, forget that. You off the list, done, period. But to go back to the original point that I was making, like, I guess transparency moment, right? I've only truly been hurt emotionally maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. And it's all been from some woman I love. But I remember I was so angry with my past spouse, my ex-wife. And one day, because at that point I was angry at my current spouse. And like I said, I can't be that mad at 2 people. And I said to myself, wait a minute. Can she, even if she did apologize to me, can she fix any of this? Can she give me back any of the time that I'm so angry and hurt about? Because it was about, my daughter. And I had to realize, no. Like, she could come to me and, like, just completely fall apart. It still wouldn't fix what was done. It wouldn't give me back my time. It wouldn't restore my role, right? And at that point, I was like, I'm over it. And from that day forward, she and I have been the closest of friends. So that's where I'll say what Tracy was saying makes perfect sense. But I'm not going to prescribe that to others because I don't do that for everybody else. Other people, if you intentionally hurt me or tried to hurt me, my problem is with your intentionality. The fact that you set forth to do it, I'm probably not going to forgive you. I can distance myself from you. I can leave it back here somewhere. But every time I see you, oh, it's there. And like one of my prior pastors had said one day, if every time you see someone and the first thing you think of is what they did to you, you have not forgiven them.
No.
You've compartmentalized it. You might be trying to outrun it, but you did not forgive them. And I was like, yo, that's me. And I'm okay with that. But in this particular case, I mean, this your father, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you're gonna make the decision. You're gonna make the decision you're gonna make for real. People do grimy stuff that are close to you and not close to you. And whatever decision you make is on you. But I've seen people who have lost a family member, lost a father or a mother, and left it unresolved. There's no way to close it now. There's zero way to get any. If you ever think you need closure, you ain't getting it now.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, even if it's your parent, you know what I'm saying, if it's like that kind of situation, my counsel to you would be go. Maybe not go when they tell you to go, right? Maybe instead of going when the whole family's there, you go an hour before that or an hour after that so that you can get in and get out. But I would say it's probably best to go, you know what I'm saying, seal that up right quick.
Yeah. And that's difficult and that's the other part I took. I was like, I wish I had my parents around so I could be mad at them. But essentially, I'm thinking, dude, you got both of your parents around? Shut up. Like, what I would give, like I would literally give everything I have. Everything. House, car, TV, computer, everything I have. To have at least one of my parents back. And he's about to lose one and still mad at the other. No.
But Tracy, in his defense, he doesn't have parents.
Yeah.
Right? Like you had parents. Whether they were perfect, imperfect, they had. That's the thing about being a parent, being a family member. You are all of those things. You're perfect. You're imperfect. You're happy. You bring joy. You bring pain. Like all of those things. You're the complexity of love, right? In his case, y'all kicked me out, and I had to live on the street. That's a hard one, Tracy.
That is a hard one. I didn't.